What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by, spending a few minutes with me here this morning. It's a beautiful morning down here in Texas, right here at my little hangout spot. I hope that y'all been waking up feeling good, feeling energized, ready to take on the world, man. It's a good day today. It's a good day today. Listen, I want to tell you a story, all right? A very powerful and inspiring story. The story is about someone named Zarathustra. Zarathustra was a hermit of sorts, all right? Basically, at 30 years old, Zarathustra abandoned his life in society and he took off for the wilderness. But he went beyond where your average person goes when they go in the wilderness. He went way, way, way out there, deep into the mountains, looking for a place to make his home. Right? And he stayed out there for about 10 years. And then he came back to society and tried to bring the gifts that he now had back to society, but they didn't want to hear what he had to say. They couldn't understand what he was saying. Right? He realized that he actually didn't have anything to say to them, so he headed back out to the wilderness. And he does this several times. Right? Now, one afternoon, Zarathustra was sleeping underneath a shade tree. At some point in his nap, he was woken up by an extremely sharp pain in his neck. He woke up with a scream. That's how bad the pain was. And when he looked around trying to figure out what happened, just a few feet away, he saw the death adder, a snake with a deadly bite. It had bitten him on his neck while he was asleep, unaware. When he saw the snake, he laughed and he thanked the snake. He said, "Oh, my friend, how I must thank you for waking me up." And the snake laughed at Zarathustra and said, "Surely it doesn't matter what time you wake up because my bite is deadly." Zarathustra laughed again at the snake and said, "Oh, my friend, how I must thank you for waking me up just in the nick of time. I have somewhere to be." He said, "Besides, how could the venom of such a small serpent kill such a mighty dragon? Now come over here and take back your venom." And the death adder leapt back onto the neck of Zarathustra and licked the wounds clean of venom. He took his venom back. To me, not only is it just a badass story, but there is a depth of meaning that I'm just beginning to explore here. Now, the snake, to me, is this bad thing, this bad situation that has happened, right? Zarathustra bitten in the neck by a death adder. This is a bad thing. So the snake, to me, represents bad or evil, right? And notice that this bad, this evil, only bites Zarathustra when he is well into his nap, when he is unconscious, when he's unaware of his surroundings. The snake is able to take him off guard and strike him. But Zarathustra refuses the venom of the snake, refuses the venom of this bad thing called evil. He rejects it. He says, he turns it into something good, right? That this bad thing that has bitten him whilst he was unaware has only served the purpose of waking him up and getting him moving towards his next destination. So any bad thing that happened to Zarathustra, he used as a simple way to get to the next place, to get to his next destination. Zarathustra had this power over good and evil. Most of us, we're torn this way and that way by our sense of good and evil. We don't truly own our own sense of good and evil. See, good and evil to me are like dogs. Okay? They're like dogs. They're extremely loyal, but if you neglect these dogs, if you don't feed these dogs, if you don't water them, if you don't bathe them, if you don't show them some love, they will begin to act out. They will become just a pain in your neck. These dogs need to be cared for, but you should be the master of these dogs. Imagine this. Let's say you have two dogs, one black, one white, one called good, one called bad. And they're just dogs. There's nothing different about them except for their names. They're just dogs. Okay? And dogs need to be fed every day. So you, as their owner, imagine this. You start bringing food out to the dogs and you feed them together. You feed both good and bad together. You just put food in the bowls and then you walk away. Well, what you don't know is that your dog, good, keeps on sneaking and eating the food out of bad's bowl. See? So bad is getting less to eat and good is getting more to eat. And you don't have any idea what's going on. You don't know this because you just put them in a room and feed them. You know? But now, your dog called bad is starting to lose all this weight, starting to look a little funny, looking a little shaky. And you're out there, you decide to stay in the room now when you feed them. So you feed them and a couple pieces of dog food fall on the floor next to bad's bowl. And you reach down just to grab the food and put it back in the bowl. But when you reach down, bad snaps at you, bites your pinky all the way off and it's gone now. And you're like, what the heck is going on? After your hand will heal up just fine, but you got to take this dog to the vet, see what's going on, and the vet tells you that the dog's malnourished, that it's actually starving, and this is probably why it's been so protective over its food. And then you realize what's been happening, that good has been stealing the food out of bad's bowl. See what I'm saying? It's just a simple example, but anyway, man, that's what I want to share with you. That story is from a book called Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I'll leave a link for it in the description, but just as like a forewarning or a fair warning, it's like an 11-hour long poem, basically, written all in Old English. But for those of y'all that like that, I highly suggest this. It's a amazing read, hands down. It's one of those books I'll have to read it probably several times, keep going back to it. But anyway, man, hit me up in the comments. Just let me know what you guys think of the video. Until next time, I hope you continue to free your mind.